Parents are sometimes surprised at their kids' behavior when they start deschooling. They may react with enthusiasm or resistance, and it's not what we expected. So let's talk about what's going on with the kids and specifically how to cope. The deschooling phase is going to vary from home to home. Yours isn't going to look like mine or the lady down the street. Everybody's home is different. You may have kids that are like, I don't want to. No, 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 I want to stay home. And they resist all your wonderful suggestions. Or you may have one that's, let's do everything every day. Yes, yes, yes. Here are some examples of what these can look like. Those eager explorers can sometimes be difficult to satisfy. They can be expensive. They can create outrageous messes in the house. They can stretch your stamina. And those resistant rebels, what about them? What about the kid that always says no thanks to all of those suggestions you have? You might wonder if unschooling was such a good idea, or you worry about their future. It can be disappointing because you want to go do stuff, or you start comparing your kid with other people's kids. It can stretch your patience. So let's think about why. That eager, enthusiastic child has maybe been looking forward to this for a while, and they're basking in the freedom. They're still enthusiastic about playing and learning. They've felt stifled in the classroom setting, or maybe it's just their personality and temperament, and now they're not being forced to conform. The resistant kid has maybe always had everything planned out for them, or they're uncomfortable with their new freedom. Perhaps they prefer structure, no surprises, or they're not sure they trust what you're saying, or maybe it's their personality or temperament too. Sometimes our personalities aren't in sync, the parents with the kids, or if you have multiple kids in the house, some are introverts, some are extroverts. What do we do about that? That's what I want to get to next. Some practical tips for how to cope with the different ways kids might be reacting to deschooling. So for those kids that can't get enough, put a calendar up on a wall where they can see it, see what's ahead and what's been happening so that it's easy for them to see, oh, I really did just have a sleepover the other day. Where in their head, they could get to thinking, I haven't had that in so long. Show them on a big wall calendar of what that's like. Sometimes we have calendars in our phones and our kids don't really see what's going on. Think about creating a weekly family meeting to plan the week ahead, just 1 week at a time. What's the weather going to look like? What's on the agenda? What can we do so that they can see, okay, I know exactly what's coming. At the end of the day, talk about the highlights with them. Help them relive it. What was their favorite thing? How did it make them feel? Let them bask in that a little bit. The older kids may want to do a little journaling. Maybe it's even gratitude journals. What are some great things that have been happening in their life now? When it starts to get a little expensive, it's time to talk about budgets, your real budget, not abstractly. Help them with understanding the pros and cons of spending on a particular thing. How could they raise money to get it or do it? How could you say yes to a piece of it? Could you make changes in the budget to accommodate them? Now that you're not spending money on curriculum, you could use it for other fun activities. Remember, unschoolers learn math because we have real life expenses. Brainstorm about ways to keep those messy areas straightened up well enough. Remember, you live there all day, every day. Your kids have ideas and projects, and you want them to have that. Your house is not going to look like a magazine cover. So there are some things that you can do. You can get more shelves. You can have portable tables for projects where they can leave them up for a little bit to admire them, or they can let their projects dry. More trash cans in different rooms so that it's easier for a quick cleanup. Tubs for quick picking up all the stuff that gets scattered at the end of the day, or for shoes when you first come in the house. Paper plates, designated cups for the day so you don't have quite so many dishes. Comparisons are never a good idea, so resist. Remember, you don't really know what other people's lives are like. People usually only share the highlights, the good stuff. Everyone's life situations are unique because unschooling is all about individualizing. What others do isn't relevant. So when you start to think about whether you should have made some other decisions, do your foundation building now. Do you need more information about unschooling and deschooling? Do you need more support from other people? Do you need a community of parents on a similar path? Getting that foundation stronger will prevent you from blowing whichever way the wind is blowing. Create a list of all the reasons you wanted to homeschool or unschool. Why is this a good choice for your family? Specifically, list it out and get answers to your specific fears. I have really inexpensive unschooling guides that I've gathered all the information on various topics that people have asked about over the years. Find one that addresses your fears. There's coaching, group, or private, and there's the blog and the podcast at unschoolingmomtomom.com. So you have a lot of opportunities to get the information that you need. So let go of assumptions about their future when you're worried about whether or not they're going to be employable. The world is changing fast, and unschooled kids learn to adapt. Schools conditioned us to only see production value, factory worker mentalities. But employers want problem solvers, collaborators, communicators. Following their interests will lead them to where they need to be. I know sometimes it's hard to see because we really can't see around the corner. Schools gave us the idea that they could predict our future if we checked their boxes, and none of that was true. So instead, walking alongside your kids will help them navigate through life. If you have stories in your head about what you thought this was going to be like, it's going to be time to let go of them. The reality has benefits too. And if you stay stuck in the negative, stuck in what you thought it was going to be and how it's not that now, life will not be the adventure it could be. So look for the benefits of what's happening now. Experiment with ideas that might be possible. Maybe you think, oh, I don't know. Well, try it and see. It's not a commitment for life. Just experiment week by week. Make arrangements where you can do what interests you too. And showing your disappointment to the kids is going to prolong deschooling. So that's why it's really important to get a handle on this and recognizing that this period of time won't last forever. Often the kids' resistance wears off over time. So let's talk about if our personalities just aren't in sync. You're a homebody and they're enthusiastic, or you love to get out and about and they don't. What do you do? So tune into their needs first. Let's get their cup filled, and then we can focus on our own. But don't forget about your own self-care. It doesn't mean you have to have a weekend away. Little bits of self-care throughout the day. Think ahead of time of what can help you feel better. Get plenty of rest and food and water. Plan a little exercise every day, especially if you have an enthusiastic kid. You're going to have to learn to keep up. Or some little meditation rituals. The internet is full of ways to help you create a life that works for you too. And get help. Share with other parents. Maybe make trades. You drop off and they pick up. Or kids come to your house one day and yours go to their house another day. You have to just be flexible and figure out what's going to work for you. And those are the two different responses to deschooling that kids might have and how you might manage it. This was part of the deschooling challenge that we're doing in the Creating Confidence membership group. And I have links for that and more deschooling resources for you. If you look over to the side, you'll see other deschooling videos that might help you. Not too many. Go ahead and work your way through them. Click the subscribe and the bell, and it'll let you know when I put up another video.